I want to get into a bit of a texting versus calling debate. I have this with my friends quite often and people in general. Um, I am known as someone that hates texting in my friend group, and it makes me feel old, but I still think it's very true. If I'm going to have a conversation with someone, keyword conversation, you simply can't have it over text. If you want it to even remotely resemble human conversation and human interaction, text is extremely far removed from that. And look, text has its uses. I'm not saying it doesn't. But if you want to have more than a line or two discussion, you should call, or you should see the person in person, or you should FaceTime. In my opinion, there are very little situations where text trumps phone calls. No, there are some, and like for example, when you run a business, it's way easier sometimes to text your clients than actually just call them every time. It's the utility of emails. They don't have to respond right away. So look, there's a ton of uses for it. I'm not saying that, but for anything that is remotely above surface level, you should call. Like period. And this is an interesting point. I can't. I'll have friends that will say that they ended up breaking up with someone over text, and I just can't stand that. I will rip them a new one. I'm like, that is the most pathetic thing, to break up with someone over text. I think that is such weak shit. Go talk to the person. Go see them. It's just to hide behind your phone is ridiculous on something as serious as that. And it makes it so much easier to be a coward. So go talk to the person if you're in that situation. And I mean, look, here's my sympathetic side. It doesn't mean it's easy. Like, come on, it's not easy. You're going to experience a whole lot more negative emotion, but you probably owe it to the other person to have a bloody in-person conversation. And if you can't, because of distance or because you've only been dating a bloody month and you call them, those are different situations. But in general, seeing them in person should trump. Certainly texting, and should trump phone calls too. I can't stand that. But here's an example where I would probably differ from most people, and I don't understand why. If I'm fortunate enough to have someone ask me how my day was, and I get that text towards the end of the day, I do not want to respond over text. I would much rather call the person, especially if I'm driving home. It's easy. Just chuck them on a call, and then you can have a real conversation about how your day was. And I don't understand trying to type out 50 paragraphs of text about how your day was, or about anything, frankly. Now, I've heard an interesting argument about this, that sometimes, writing things down is easier because you can get your thoughts in a more cohesive manner before you send it. And I totally get that. I totally do. So I get that in terms of a utility for texting. I guess I would say, just put it in your notes and then have a conversation over the phone or in person later. I don't understand why that then necessitates the texting to send that material. You can simply use the function of the fact that, or the advantage of the fact that you can write stuff down outside of texting as a medium in terms of communication. So that would be my 2 cents there about the whole texting versus calling thing.